Okay, so if you're a YouTube creator, you know that feeling, right? That thrill when you see your earnings start to go up. It's awesome. But there's also that other feeling, the panic, when you check your numbers and they've suddenly dropped. Well, today, we are going to demystify that whole process. We're going to follow the money from that first estimate you see in your studio all the way to the cash actually landing in your bank account.
I mean, picture this. You've been grinding away. Your channel's on the up, and that estimated revenue number, it's looking good. You log into YouTube Studio, you're ready to pop the champagne, and then your heart just drops. The number is lower. If you have ever felt that sinking feeling, I need you to hear this. You are absolutely not alone. And more importantly, it is all part of the process. So the good news? This is totally 100% normal. That first number you see, think of it as just the first clue in a bigger mystery. And today, we're going to put on our detective hats and follow the money on its whole journey, from a rough guess to the final payout. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll know exactly what to expect.
All right, so our investigation kicks off in a place every single creator knows well, the YouTube Studio dashboard. This is where we get that first peek at our earnings. But as you're about to find out, this is so not the final chapter.
So that first number you lay eyes on is called estimated revenue. And the most important word in that phrase? Estimated. Seriously, I want you to think of it like a weather forecast. It's a pretty good guess based on all the data they have, but it's not a promise of a sunny day. You know? The real weather can change, and it's the exact same thing with your final earnings.
Okay, let's make this real with a quick example. Let's say you've had an amazing day. Your new video is crushing it, and you see you've pulled in a cool 1,000 rupees in estimated revenue. You're feeling fantastic, as you should be. But just remember, this is only page 1.
So a few days go by, you check again, and whoa, your heart kind of skips a beat. That number has dropped to 900 rupees. This is that moment of panic we were just talking about. But here's the thing, don't worry. This is just YouTube's system doing its thing. It's constantly cleaning up the data, getting rid of stuff like accidental ad clicks or views from bots, all to make the final number way more accurate.
Now, as the month continues, you might see that number bounce around a little more, and maybe it finally settles at, let's say, 850 rupees. This is basically the true estimate once all that initial data has been cleaned up. But, and this is a big but, we are still not at the finish line. Nope, the real work is just about to start.
Okay, so we've got our final estimate. Great. But how does that number actually turn into money in our pocket? Well, to figure that out, we have to leave the familiar world of YouTube Studio and head over to its partner in crime, Google AdSense. And this is where things get real.
This right here, this is the core of it all. On one side, you've got the best guess from YouTube Studio, and on the other, the final answer from AdSense. It is absolutely crucial to get this. These are two totally different numbers, and only one of them is the one that's going to hit your bank account.
So what's with the difference? Why do your estimated earnings change? Well, there are a bunch of reasons. We already talked about them filtering out invalid traffic. But there's also stuff like copyright claims. If you use music you don't own, some of that money might go to the copyright holder. The type of ad campaigns running on your channel matters too. Sometimes there are pauses in certain countries, and of course, the big one, taxes, which are going to be different for everyone.
So after all these little adjustments and deductions, we finally land on the most important number of all, your finalized earnings. The best way to think about this is like your paycheck. You know how you have your gross salary, but your take-home pay is what's left after taxes and all that other stuff? Finalized earnings are your YouTube take-home pay. It's the real deal.
All right, we have our final locked-in number. So there's just one question left, the big one. When do we actually get paid? The good news is, this part of the process is super predictable. YouTube runs on a really strict monthly schedule, and once you get the rhythm, you'll always know when that money is coming.
So let's just walk through a typical month. Let's say you earn all your money in March. Then, sometime between April 7th and the 12th, those March earnings get finalized and show up in your AdSense account. And then, between April 21st and the 26th, bam, the payment is sent to your bank. It's a super simple, predictable cycle that just repeats month after month. Okay, so now you know exactly how you get paid and when you get paid. But where is all this money actually coming from? If you're in the YouTube Partner Program, there are actually a bunch of different ways to earn, and honestly, understanding them is the secret to really growing your channel's income. As you can see, every creator's revenue mix is going to look a little different. It's like a pie chart that's unique to you. Some channels might be almost all ad revenue. Others might make most of their cash from things like channel memberships and fan donations. The really important thing here is the old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spreading out your income streams is honestly the smartest way to build a real sustainable business on YouTube.
So let's do a quick breakdown of the different ways you can earn. First, you've got the classics, right? Watch page ads on your regular videos, and of course, the Shorts feed ads. Then you have what we call fan funding. This includes things like monthly memberships and supers, like Super Chat or Super Thanks, which are basically one-time tips from your fans. If you're a streamer, you can also get gifts during your live broadcasts. And finally, there's shopping, where you can sell products or earn affiliate commissions right from your channel.
Okay, so with all these different ways to make money, it can get a little tricky to know how well your channel is really doing overall. And that's where this little metric called RPM comes into play. I want you to think of RPM as your channel's grade point average, or GPA. It's one single number that tells you how good you are at turning views into revenue.
RPM stands for revenue per mil, which is just a fancy Latin word for 1,000. So it literally means revenue per 1,000 views. But here's the magic trick with RPM. It scoops up all your different revenue streams, ads, memberships, supers, the whole shebang, and combines them into one simple number. It's truly the best way to measure your channel's overall financial health.
Let's break it down real simple. Say you earned 1,000 rupees and that came from 10,000 total views. Your RPM would be 100. It's that easy to calculate. And by keeping an eye on your RPM, you can start to see which videos or topics are your biggest moneymakers, which helps you make way smarter decisions about what kind of content to make in the future.
Look, if you forget everything else we talked about today, please remember this one thing. YouTube Studio is your estimate. Google AdSense is your reality. Studio is the forecast. AdSense is the actual weather when you step outside. It's that simple.
So there you have it. You now have the complete roadmap for your YouTube earnings, from that first view all the way to the payout. The mystery's gone, and in its place is knowledge. And you know what they say, knowledge is power. It's the power to really understand your business, to make smarter choices, and to build an actual thriving career as a creator. So now the only question left is, which part are you going to build up next?